في ليلة من الليالي لست أدري ما تراني ظلمة تهورني يا رب. الأرض ضاقت والسماء وقلبي ما رفض ضياء تنبات أبكي يا إلهي يا إلهي يا إلهي يا إلهي.
Incest was practiced by ancient Egyptian royalty. Mothers married sons and brothers married sisters to keep the power and the money all in the family. Like
أنت الذي خلقتني رحمتني ورزقتني دوما يا رب قد كنت معي، لكنني نهيت عنك نسيت ما قد كان لك وسرت في طريقي يا إلهي يا إلهي يا إلهي يا إلهي. أنت الذي خلقتني رحمتني ورزقتني دوما يا رب قد كنت معي، لكنني نهيت عنك نسيت ما قد كان لك وسرت في طريقي يا إلهي يا إلهي يا إلهي يا إلهي يا إلهي. واليوم يا ربي أعود من ظلمة خلف الحدود، فالقلب منكسر وطرف حائر، وأنا الغريق فلا أرى إلا سواك لمنقذا، لا منجا ولا منجا إلا أنت يا إلهي يا إلهي يا إلهي يا إلهي.
Many of the United States presidents have blood relations with each other. The Bush lineage has blood ties to a great number of former presidents. George Washington, Millard Fillmore, Franklin Pierce, Abraham Lincoln, Ulysses Grant, Rutherford Hayes, James Garfield, Grover Cleveland, Teddy Roosevelt, William Taft, Calvin Coolidge, Herbert Hoover, Franklin Roosevelt, Richard Nixon, and Gerald Ford. Michael Tsarion points out in his work that Bush is closely related to every European monarch on and off the throne, and has kinship with every member of Britain's royal family. Bush's family tree can be documented as far back as the early 15th century. He has a direct descent from Henry III and from Henry VIII's sister Mary Tudor. He is also descended from Charles II of England. And we also find that George W. Bush is a direct descendant of Godfrey the Bullion. Godfrey was the first king of Jerusalem after he recaptured it from the Saracens, which was the name for the Islamic faith during the Middle Ages. It is interesting to note that the current occupation of the United States in the Middle East was re-established by the same family, George Bush Sr. in 1991, and again by George Bush Jr. in 2003. George Bush Jr. is then found to be a cousin to both opposing candidates of his 2 terms in office, Al Gore and John Kerry. Democratic President Barack Obama also has blood ties with George W. Bush, as well as Gerald Ford, Lyndon Johnson, Harry Truman, James Madison, and the British Prime Minister Sir Winston Churchill. On the opposing side of the 2008 presidential ballot, John McCain is descended from Robert the Bruce, King William I of Scotland, and also Godfrey the Bullion.
Vice President Dick Cheney, the man who's only a heartbeat away from the presidency, is actually a blood relation. He's President Bush's 9th cousin once removed. Cheney's cousin Barack Obama is also Bush's 11th cousin and the 9th cousin of Brad Pitt. But we're only just getting started. President Lincoln was President Bush's 7th cousin 5 times removed, and Bush shared more than just a ballot with John Kerry. That's right, they're 9th cousins twice removed. There's also royalty in the Bush bloodline. Princess Diana was Bush's 11th cousin twice removed. Trace the family tree far enough, and you get Madonna, Celine Dion, and Tom Hanks.
يوزن المرء بمن صاحب واختار وليا وأنا اخترتك فازددت رقيا ورقيا يوزن المرء بمن صاحب واختار وليا وأنا اخترتك فازددت رقيا ورقيا أنت لي نبع من الإخلاص يبقى أبديا أنت لي نبع من الإخلاص يبقى أبديا لم أزل أحمد ربي أن لي خلا وفيا لم أزل أحمد ربي أن لي خلا وفيا خلا وفيا يا رفيق الدرب إني أذكر الفضل واغفري يا رفيق الدرب إني أذكر الفضل واغفري إنها لحظات شكر وامتنان لك مني إنها لحظات شكر وامتنان لك مني يا رفيق الدرب إني يا رفيق الدرب إني يا رفيق الدرب عائدون 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 أمة القرآن آن أن تقومي من جديد أن تعيدي الخير للأرض تعطين بجد أمة القرآن آن أن تقومي من جديد أن تعيدي الخير للأرض تعطين.
Ladies and gentlemen, the very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society, and we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day. It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised.
كم بالله ومتى قم بسم الله كم بالله قامت أمجاد عائدون 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 أمة القرآن آن أن تقومي من جديد أن تعيدي الخير للأرض تعطين بجد أمة القرآن آن أن تقومي من جديد أن تعيدي الخير للأرض تعطين بجد
They hope to establish a violent political utopia across the Middle East, which they call a caliphate, where all would be ruled according to their hateful ideology. This caliphate would be a totalitarian Islamic empire encompassing all current and former Muslim lands, stretching from Europe to North Africa, the Middle East, and Southeast Asia.
Those who threaten Israel threaten us. Those who threaten Israel threaten us. Those who threaten Israel threaten us.
Let us be heard from red tar to black sky. Tonight, let us make them remember. This is Zion, and we are not afraid. إنما الناس قضاء